These financial videos are always an interesting one, how people take them. Some people think it's bragging, other people will find it really helpful. But the reason I want to make this video is I've been telling people, as long as I've been doing Skillshare, to do the same. I've got plenty of friends who talk about, wanting to find that passive income or that side revenue. Maybe they want to go freelance and they want that little bit of security just to cover their bills every month. And I told them 1,000 times, start Skillshare, but they never do. And there's always a reason, and I understand life's busy, work's busy, but at the end of the day, if you want to have this kind of system built for yourself, then you're the one that needs to build it. I want to give a better incentive to people to start because it's been a game changer for me. So in 21 months, I've made $10,761.25, all from 4 courses on Skillshare. Now, on average, that works out to $512.44 each month, and that's over the 21-month period. Although it's not always been that, it kind of fluctuates. So my slowest month was $324, but my best month, which was April 2021, I made $706. Now I have 4 courses on Skillshare. I've added one about every kind of 4 or 5 months. And whilst I thought the numbers would just rise, it doesn't quite work like that. It tends to go up as a new class enters and then kind of trickles down and does that movement. And month by month it varies. Some months I'll just make $300, the next I'll make $600 or $700. So you never know exactly how much you're going to make, but you can follow the stats. I try not to obsess about that, but there's money to be made for sure. Now the way you make money from Skillshare is for every minute watched, you get a certain percentage of that person's membership. And it's not much, I think it's normally 5 to 10 cents, but that adds up when you have the large audience that they have on Skillshare. And if your course gets traction, then you're going to get a lot of those people watching your course. And you can also gain revenue from referrals. So for instance, the link in the description below is a referral link. So if you click through that, whilst it costs you nothing, I would get a percentage of that potential subscription. Now I've only made $90 in the 2 years from referrals because I don't push it, but that's another way you can earn money through Skillshare. In a way, this is passive income in that once the courses are done and up, the money just rolls in. But this isn't passive in the sense that you don't have to do anything. There is a lot of work you have to put in upfront with no guarantee of reward off the back end. So I prefer to think of it more as delayed exponential income. You don't know if you're going to get paid or when, but that number can rise and grow at any time. So if you really seriously want to do this, then be prepared to put in the work up front and know that this isn't a quick get rich scheme. But from my experience, it's well worth doing. It's all very well and good me telling you how it works and how much I've made, but I wanted to make this video to encourage you and tell you how you can do the same, kind of guide you through it. So here's how I got started and here's how I've managed to get to the place I've got to. So when COVID hit all the way back in March 2020, I had 5 commercials fall through overnight. So suddenly I had all the spare time, and I like to think you can choose to bury your head in the sand, or you can get to work and try and find the opportunities in the moments of a crisis. Now before lockdown, I've been teaching a course in person for a company that helps people get into self-employment. And I thought for a while it'd be good to take this online, and suddenly I had the time and the motivation and the reason to do it. So the first thing that you obviously have to do is plan the course, and that means thinking how you're going to turn some big concept into bite-sized lessons and how you can help your students understand each concept really simply and keep going and progressing on to the next lesson. You want each class to be kind of 5 to 10 minute segment where you just get stuck into one core concept and make it really easy to understand, really engaging. If you can have an anecdote, some sort of story example, then that's always a great way of making that lesson stick. With each lesson, you want to plan a key takeaway, you want to think about any props that you might need, and you want to think about how you're going to deliver it. What are the examples or what's the tone of voice you want to use? Something I also find really helpful is to write the class description before you've started filming anything. That way you're going to stay on target.
Stay on target.
Now Skillshare does the summer and I think winter challenges where they kind of encourage and help you to build your first course. And this is what I did to get started and it's really helpful. So it's worth keeping an eye out for that. But you can also find in the description below, I've got a free template to help you kind of build your course plan. It's a Notion template, so click on that link down below and then you'll have that to kind of help you piece together your first course. Now the second part is actually the bit I find the hardest, which is slightly ironic and embarrassing as I am a director DP, but it's creating the look of the class. And the reason I think this is a lot harder than you might expect is because you're filming you. So when you are filming other people for a commercial, really easy, you stick them in, you film them, you move the camera, happy days. When it's you, it's a lot harder to design that look, know when you're happy with it, adjust the angles. Everything takes 3 times as long as you expect it to. Now this is a really easy place to get stuck and to give up. So there's a balance between getting a look that you like, that works for you, and just cracking on and progressing. You don't want to spend months and months and months, as I did when I first started. In fact, I actually refilmed the entire first course I did because I didn't like the way it looked. I spent maybe 2-3 months just trying to find the right look. Now I think it's good to put time and effort into that, because the better the class you make visually and content, the better it's going to perform. But at the same time, you just got to get started. Every month the class isn't uploaded is that month's revenue not coming in. So once you have your course planned out and you have the look, then what you need to do before you actually start filming is to practice your presentation. So another reason I decided to reshoot that course first time I made it is I didn't like how I came across on camera. I didn't have the energy or the smile, to make it an enjoyable experience in my mind. I kind of watched it back and went, man, that's really bad. So practice that presentation. And I like to have a script in bullet form. So rather than having a word by word script, I'm just having those key points to hit. And that way I can be a little bit more free. But honestly, put the time in to practice that presentation. Otherwise, you're just going to waste days and weeks trying to get it right and reshooting it. So practice up front, save yourself the card space, and then get into the next bit, which is obviously filming and editing your class. By the way, if you're new here, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, have a look at the other videos if you enjoy what you're watching. So, filming and editing your class, it takes a lot more energy, as I mentioned, than you might expect. And it's really obviously the most important part, because if you don't film and edit it, then there's nothing to upload. Now you might not feel this way, but for me, I cannot stand editing. I hate post-production. So my tip is to streamline the production as much as you can to make that edit processing a lot easier. So in my case, the first time I made it, I had 3 different cameras, I had no way of syncing it, and it took so much time just to get everything looking and matching the same and, all synced up. Whereas now I have 2 matching cameras. I use 2 Panasonic S1s. I have tentacle syncs, so I can just sync them up all really easy, and I just go straight into the camera with the audio. As long as you can keep that quality to a high enough standard, literally anything you can do to get past your own stumbling blocks, do it. Yes, it may take a bit of time and money and effort just to even realize what is frustrating you. But honestly, for me, the more I can streamline that edit process, the more I enjoy the whole experience. So really think about that when you're filming and editing. Maybe for the first class, don't overthink it, because you'll learn through the process of doing it. But down the line, however you can make that process more enjoyable for yourself, then go for that. Something you also want to be doing is creating resources for your class, whether that's a helpful PDF sheet or some worksheets or added extra content. You want to have all those resources good to go. And the way I like to do this is to use Canva. So if you don't use Canva already, it's a really powerful tool. I use it for creating commercial pitch decks, for coming up with narrative mood boards, and I also use it for Skillshare resources. Now, what can you expect once you finish your class? So you upload it, and it takes a bit of time to go through the subtitles and things like that. But once you have uploaded your videos and included the description and everything like that, then prepare yourself for barren wasteland. The first week or 2, nothing's really going to happen, and it might be a little bit disheartening. Now, what made such a big difference for me to start getting those numbers straight from the get-go is my class got featured, and every class since then has been featured or trending or a staff pick, and I've actually been selected as a top teacher off the back of all of it, which means my classes get a bit of an extra love and support. And the reason that this happened is because I put the time and the energy into making the best class I could that taught something new and original and that was unique to me, but helped a lot of people out there. So the more effort you put in, the more you'll get out. Now, every class that is uploaded gets watched by the curation team at Skillshare. It's normally not for a week or two, so don't expect anything right away. And there's no guarantee that your class will get featured or supported. And then your numbers are going to be a lot lower than what mine have been. But like I say, the more effort you put in, the better your chances of getting featured. And if you're going to put all this time and energy into making a course, you might as well give it the best chance of having that kind of support from within Skillshare. Now, I don't think I was picked as a top teacher until my second or third class. So it takes a little while to get to that point. And for others, they may never reach that point. But start from the beginning, make that first class as visual, as engaging, as helpful as you can, and it will get noticed by the right people. So that's how you can make your own Skillshare class. But I want to touch on something other than the financial benefit, because yes, I've made a lot of money from it that has helped ease the burden every month going from COVID to where we are now. And that number, when you look back and reflect, you go, wow, that's a camera, that's a holiday, that's more than one holiday. How you choose to spend that money is entirely up to you, right? But there are some other benefits to this, not just getting paid a relatively helpful amount of money on the same date every month, almost like your own salary, albeit maybe not a full-time salary yet, you can grow to that point. But the benefit above all else from doing this is that sense of respect and confidence that you get from the feedback. Skillshare has a great community, and when you're putting your own ideas out there and you're trying to help people, when people appreciate that and you get that feedback, it's so rewarding. In my commercial work, often you put in months of effort and time and you create this beautiful film which may have been amended, to 1,000 deaths. But at the end of it, you get a cheers and that's it. And then you don't hear from the client until the next project, and maybe you might find out how that last film performed. It's why it's so important as a freelancer to be in conversations with other freelancers to support each other, because you're not going to get that from clients. They kind of just see you as a service to help them out. So doing a Skillshare course where you have those people actively engaging with you, telling you how it's transformed their business, or really engaged with them and that they enjoy the way you teach, it's a really rewarding feeling. And I would put it on a par with the finances that you get from it, is that sense of respect and confidence that comes from getting that feedback. And there's that added benefit that I know every person who watches my class is in a way helping me reach my goals, my dreams. If I can build my Skillshare content to the point that I can actually start putting that money into my own original films, that maybe I can start making the content I want to make and help others make and make myself. And every minute someone watches that Skillshare class brings me a step closer to that point. Now, I know there may be people watching this thinking he just wants to talk about how much money he makes, but it's honestly not that, because I've been trying for so long to get other people to make their own Skillshare courses so they can start building towards the lifestyle that they want. And I just want to give a big enough incentive to help people actually start, because it's an idea that people see in their head, but they don't see the benefits of doing it. And they're there, it just takes that time and energy. If you have any questions about Skillshare, then feel free to leave a comment. And by all means, if you don't know me by now, then just feel free to leave a comment about anything. I'm happy to have a chat. So thanks for watching. And like I say, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and keep up to date. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded anything. Life's been busy, been filming all over the country. So back again for a while. So until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.